Before watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.
When it comes to colonizing new worlds, Mars could be humanity's best option. But the journey won't be like it was in the past for pioneers like Magellan, Gagarin, and Neil Armstrong. This new frontier will be the most extreme challenge yet. It's not just learning how to survive on an alien planet with less oxygen, a weaker gravitational pull, and more harmful radiation. It's enduring the changes that these extreme conditions will have on the human body, manipulating it in ways that we can only begin to imagine. Even astronauts know that you don't have to spend much time off Earth to notice changes. The lower gravity can kickstart a whole list of physical alterations. Just ask this guy, former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly. He lived for an entire year on the International Space Station. Without Earth's gravitational pull, the zero gravity weakened his bones and muscles and expanded the space between his vertebrae, making him 2 inches taller. Now, the zero gravity environment in space is more extreme than on Mars. However, these changes could still happen on smaller scales. And if you compound them over hundreds of years and tens of generations, the results could be similar and even more pronounced. Basically, humans will adapt to Mars' conditions in one of 2 ways. In the first few centuries, our skeletons and muscles will likely shrink and will become weaker versions of our Earthling counterparts. This would almost certainly lead to shorter lifespans and health complications, including neurological disorders if our skulls shrink with the rest of us. So to survive, we may over millennia actually undergo the opposite reaction, evolving stronger, more robust bodies like the Tharks in Edgar Rice Burroughs' sci-fi novel, A Princess of Mars. Although, us having 6 arms and green skin is less likely. In fact, some scientists think we'd actually develop orange skin, not green. Turns out, the carotenoids that make carrots, sweet potatoes, and pumpkins look orange offer a certain amount of protection against harmful UV radiation. When we eat these pigments in large amounts, we actually get a boost of protective carotene in our bloodstream and under our skin. So yeah, eating too many carrots can turn you orange, but it may also be a great defense against cancer on Mars. The planet's thin atmosphere lets in massive amounts of UV and other high-energy radiation compared to Earth. For example, the average Earthling receives about 3 millisieverts of radiation per year versus the 30 that they would get on Mars. To compare, here's the minimum radiation dose it takes to drastically increase your risk of cancer. Add up the annual radiation levels on Mars over a lifetime, and the average Martian would receive 5,000 times more radiation than someone on Earth. And our big orange bodies may not just look different on the outside. One of the most profound changes we could have coming is the next species of human. Higher levels of radiation on Mars' surface would mutate the DNA in our cells at an accelerated pace. Normally, a species like Homo sapiens could take a few 100,000 years to evolve on Earth. But some scientists say the higher mutation rate could spawn new human species within centuries, 10 times faster than on Earth. So, if the radiation didn't outright kill us, the mutations that survived will be passed down through generations, ultimately diversifying the gene pool and allowing natural selection to do its job. As exciting as it may sound, there is a potential downside to all of this. If, one day in the future, a Martian falls in love with an Earthling, it can only end in tragedy. The immune systems of Martians and Earthlings will be completely different, and a meeting between the two could be just as deadly as when 2 foreign groups have met in the past, like the European settlers who gave smallpox to the Native Americans. Also, depending on how genetically different they are, even if they could meet, they may not be able to have Martian Earthlings of their own, since only closely related species can reproduce. Moving to Mars may be the best chance for humanity's survival, but it may not be humans who live there in the end.
Find yourself completing the same couple of actions on your phone every day? It's so annoying to do the same thing over and over again. A little used feature in iOS 12 means you don't have to be an app developer to create something useful for your phone. The new Shortcuts app can do it for you. Siri Shortcuts is one of the best features of iOS 12. It's a feature that can help you automate tasks and reduce the steps needed for a particular action. The Shortcuts app doesn't come pre-installed. You'll have to download it from the App Store. In the app, you can add pre-made shortcuts or create your own custom commands. Here are 5 shortcuts that are really useful. There's one shortcut that has gotten more attention than any other, the please shortcut. Created by Robert Peterson, This puts your phone in Do Not Disturb mode, sends a text message letting someone know you've been pulled over, and prompts you to start filming a video. It's a great example of the power of shortcuts. Have you ever wanted to quickly search a product on Amazon or Target? With this shortcut, you can scan a barcode and automatically search for the product online. Currently, it searches Amazon, Target, and Walmart. This next shortcut is great for iPhone users who want to use the Google Assistant. Now that the Google Assistant has support for Siri Shortcuts, you can say, "Hey Siri, okay Google," to talk to the Google Assistant. It's not the smoothest experience, but it can come in handy if you use the Google Assistant for things like smart home control. These next two shortcuts are great for people who use their phone for a lot of music and videos. The Play Spotify Track shortcut allows you to ask Siri to play a song in Spotify instead of Apple Music. Just run the shortcut and say the name of the song, and your phone will launch Spotify. Finally, the background YouTube shortcut lets you continue playing a YouTube video while you use other apps on your phone. For this to work, you need the YouTube app and Google Chrome. In the YouTube app, click Share, and then select Siri Shortcut. Wait until after the ad plays and close Chrome. Next, go into the Control Center and press Play. Now your video will continue to play in the background. You do have to be signed into Chrome for this to work. These are just a few of the great shortcuts that exist. You can find more in the Shortcuts app gallery, the Shortcuts subreddit, and the Shortcuts website. Shortcuts actually has two forms, suggestions and shortcuts. Depending on the app, Siri Suggestions might suggest a command or function it notices you using often, like texting a friend or setting up an alarm. These suggestions happen automatically without you thinking about it. But the real power of shortcuts comes from creating your own custom commands. The Shortcuts app allows you to combine actions to complete a command. We'll create a basic shortcut that searches for a GIF and copies it to the clipboard. In the Shortcuts app, tap Create Shortcut. Then, add the Search Giphy action. Next, add the Copy to Clipboard action. This will let you quickly search for a GIF and copy it to the clipboard. Now we can run the shortcut to test it. You can add your custom shortcuts to Siri or even the home screen. Siri Shortcuts is limited by your patience, creativity, and support from app developers. With a little tinkering and some research, you can create a really powerful command. As more app developers support shortcuts, users will be able to do even more with this powerful app.